Hello and welcome to Media Dialogues with Storyboard 18. I am Dalshad Irani and today I am in conversation with Prabhakar Tiwari, Chief Growth Officer of Angel One, and Amin Lakhani, Chief Executive Officer of Mindshare South Asia. Prabhakar and Amin are here in the studio today to share the marketing and media strategies that will help Angel One in realizing its ambition to be the most trusted fintech brand, empowering 1 billion lives. So how is the company leveraging data and technology in its marketing? How did the IPL fare for the first time tournament sponsor? What is Angel One's influencer marketing approach? What are the consumer trends to watch for? We will dig into all this and more today. So let's get straight into it. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. It's lovely to have you both here in the studio today.
Glad to be here today.
Same here, Dalshad. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us as always, Amin. Prabhakar, but let me just sort of kick off with you, right? IPL is done. Angel One, of course, was a first-time sponsor on this massive tournament and media vehicle. Going into it, dial back a little bit. Going into it, what were your objectives from this IPL? Pitching for it, getting into it, and has it met your expectations? What are some of the measures of success?
Yeah. See, for us, it's very important to have the leadership perception because that's the category in which we operate for a longish time, and we have really scaled well in last 2-3 years. But at times, if you're not really present on big platforms, in the kind of top funnel, then it's not really possible for you to kind of pass on that, kind of message of category leadership. That was critical for us. And also, our category penetration is like 4% or so, which is like very, very small. And we have ambition to, kind of, take it to the next level. That's very, very important for us. So we were thinking about what are the right vehicle now. That in past our brand spends were kind of modest, but they really worked for us. Our marketing metrics have moved. Top 2 box consideration, the brand has seen almost 2x jump, and on other parameters which are organic business, we have seen a big jump. Then it was important for us to really look for that vehicle which can take our brand story forward, give us the kind of stature we want in the category we operate in, and also we want to make multiple fintech experiences available in a single super app format. And for that, it's very important that a super app needs a super brand. And what else can make Angel One a super brand than the biggest marketing and media platform than IPL. So these were the initial objectives we had when we kind of chose IPL.
But did it meet those objectives in terms of all the results? Give me some of the focused results for you from this IPL. What were you looking at, and how did it deliver on those metrics?
Yeah. So when we look at these things, we look at full funnel things, because that's very important. Top funnel, the brand track will show us more results in coming months. Maybe by end of June we will come to know that. But in terms of important top funnel thing like web traffic, install, we have significant jump from 14 to 18% kind of numbers. We have seen good healthy jump in lead to install percentage. And I'm saying all of that from an incrementality point of view, because if you look at the category, it is governed by multiple factors. It's not possible that all factors will be favorable during a period. So it's important that you take a larger span and look at how some of these metrics have moved. More importantly, like if it's about being visible and most recalled brand, I'm very happy to share that a recent research, kind of a study have shown that Angel One has been consistently top 3 brand, the most recalled and most visible brand in the IPL. Also,
and that's a feat given the number of advertisers that we have on IPL and big ticket advertisers. So that's definitely something to write home about.
Yeah, I mean, I'll call it good planning plus beginner's luck. I don't know at what percentage each could be factored, but the fact is that it's a good point to start. The way I look at it is that this year they are saying that combining TV and digital, it will be around 800 million reach, of the overall platform, IPL as a platform. I believe with our kind of on-ground partnership and the media spends that we have done, if we are able to really, create some sort of audience pool with Angel One brand familiarity for 500 million, it's a good jump towards our 1 billion North Star objective that you just mentioned in the beginning.
Right.
So that's how I'm looking at it.
So, I mean, Pete, I'm going to call you PT, given, that's what you prefer being called.
All of us call him PT.
So PT had an important point there to make about beginner's luck. So how much of it was beginner's luck, do you think, for Angel One? And a follow-up question while you think about that and ponder it. It's interesting because this IPL, what we also saw was, and we've seen this now for the past 2 years, is the disappearance of all the big edtech brands and the emergence of all the big fintech brands. So from your sort of overarching media planner hat, tell me how that has played out as well. But first, the question on beginner's luck.
So PT mentioned two things, right? Was it beginner's luck or was it great amount of sweating on planning and decision making? I want to go back in time when PT actually reached out to our group, and we started the relationship under, Neo India, right? And I think those were the days, but we were completely focused on driving business outcomes. The teams were completely focused. I know that, there was a small team in Gurgaon that we had set up under Neo in India. And from there, there was a time where, all those strategies started scaling up. We achieved critical mass. And then PT called to say, Amin, now it's time for us to start scaling. Very honestly, I didn't read too much into it, but I said, if the client has called and if he needs scaled and all of that, we actually now put a comprehensive, team behind the brand and all of that, only to unlock the potential of what scale would mean, right? And today we have a significant amount of play available where we are working closely in driving strategies through the funnel, right from upper funnel to conversion and business outcome metrics. So I think that's the story. What you are seeing is just one act of the IPL participation. What I am seeing is 2-3 years of hard work that has gone through in building and coming up till here, and now taking it to the next level. So I think that's the story from me. So if you ask me, wearing a planner's hat, then it's the latter. It's much more hard work, and I hope that luck continues to also favor us.
Always, never turn down lady luck. But I mean, on my second question, right, which is the makeup of this IPL, and my question about this sort of, vanishing act of all the edtech brands and an emergence of all these sort of fintech brands on the IPL. Angel One, of course, a massive advertiser, a sponsor of the tournament.
When you look at IPL and currently the conversation, a television reach of almost 450 million, a near equivalent reach on digital, give or take a few million here and there, right? Now, that's a massive eyeball opportunity for any brand, any sector, any client to participate on, right? So that's one bucket. The other thing is about the need state of the brand and the category, as to where is the brand and where does it want to move the needle, right? And what is the real objective? In our case, the objective was to really build a strong funnel such that we continue to leverage it over a period of time. What PT will tell you is that how we've kind of now touched and really created a massive touch point of a huge upper funnel that we want to continue to leverage and push them through the funnel such that they convert into business for us going forward. So I think that is the thinking behind all of this.
But tell me, PT, how are you, for Angel One, how are you really leveraging your data analytics or with Mindshare to really see those business outcomes where you want to see them and then get that return on your investment?
Yeah. See, I mean, the way I look at leveraging this AI, ML and data piece, I mean, if you really look at your data and continue to look at it very, very closely, it tells you a story. Like for us, when I started with Angel One almost 5 years back, we were roughly 10,000, customers a month. Now we have reached 1 million, customers a month. It was a continuous on a trot 3 months of 1 million plus. So the question which comes in is that what makes this scale at a cost to revenue ratio, that you want to optimize for. And many platforms come and go during this period, right? I mean, big tech was very big 2-3 years back. Now they're losing the shine. A lot of newer emerging, kind of platforms are coming. But when you look at those data points and when you look at your funnel, like, what will lead affinity do for you? What is the conversion affinity possible? Like, can you do nurturing, planning much better? Can you look at like how your programmatic seat will give you a data pool, which you can kind of cross tab, within digital platforms with TV and digital, all of that. Plus also like, I mean, how can you correlate your different metrics? marketing metric with a sales metrics with a revenue metrics, then you start, seeing the bigger picture.
Connecting the dots.
Connecting the dots in that manner. And with Group M, it's been a great partnership. I mean, they have always been giving us insights on like what are the right opportunities to kind of, put our media monies in. Particularly in case of IPL, we realized that it's our first time into IPL, and we wanted to evolve the playbook as we go along. And we thought only data can be the best driver for us to really see how we want to play next year. Also, when we are doing our media planning, the team came out with certain like investment overall on TV and digital, but we said let's have a drone based approach, saying that let's do commitments which are there upfront, which are important and minimal, and then decide how the rest of the spends will flow during the IPL as it progresses. And there also the analytics had played a large role. We were able to really understand how much on ground is attributing to our business metrics, movement, and how digital is attributing, how TV is attributing, and accordingly we have changed and increased our media spends accordingly. In fact, towards the later phase, we also did one small experiment, figuring out that can there be other adjacent digital platform during this IPL period, which can give us a good cohort on fintech, sports affinity, and also bring in the data which tells that there are people who have been exposed to our communication but have not installed our app. And if you combine, will you have a sweet spot where spending money can give us better outcome. So as I'm talking to you, we are experimenting with that. So these kind of things have been very helpful, and data analytics are like something like our kind of guiding light as we progress with our spend. And now that we have reached here, we don't intend to go back, so we intend to go up and scale up from here. So I'm sure more things will be in the pipeline.
And that's good news for you, I mean. And PT also mentioned, I love that bit about the drone-based approach, but you also mentioned that the data that you've got and all the sort of insights that you've gathered and the results that you've seen are going to sort of determine how you're going to play the next few months, perhaps even the next IPL. I mean, your thoughts on that? How are you reading it, and what are you planning? What's in the works when you think, say, a few months down the line?
So what we've done to solve for full funnel attribution is to put a complete data stack, data and analytics stack, to kind of study that, without a tentpole event like IPL, what was the impact on business versus from the IPL, how is it helping drive business, and a completely granular approach, right from a medium level to a market level, to even, I mean, we can go back to language and creative cut-throughs and all of that as well. So I think a very robust, sort of, he called a playbook, but an entire stack of data has been put into play, such that it is not only telling us in real time as to what is working and what is not working. Mind you, here is an app economy client where the responses could be judged almost in real time. So we are kind of seeing that, we are kind of also looking at it completely granularly, spot by spot, day by day, match by match, medium by medium, kind of putting in, control versus exposed, analysis as well. And that is giving us a lot of reads. So it is not only helping us to understand what is working and what is not working, it is also helping us to park our float investments, in the remaining part of the tournament, to leverage it better. So I think that is what is happening. We've also understood that the surround of support outside of IPL during this period, how is it helping us? And that is seeming to give us slightly better traction, and therefore we made some investments over there. Now all of this is not going to be restricted only to IPL, but what it is going to tell us, it is also do a predictive view for us, create a predictive view for us. How do we leverage this entire upper funnel into pushing them through mid and the lower funnel conversations as we go along in the next 3 to 6 months.
And that's what I want to sort of, just putting aside the IPL piece, now you've gathered all this momentum, right, PT? So tell me, like Amin mentioned, the next 6 months, the rest of the year, what does your media mix look like? Where are you thinking of investing? You've seen, of course, television, digital, CTV. What are you thinking as a massive sort of fintech advertiser? What are the key media trends you have your eye on, and where are you putting your money?
Yeah. See, I mean, for the way I look at it, if I put my business hat on, I mean, kind of leading both sales, marketing for the organization, I think we have front loaded a huge marketing spends at Q1 and we have rest of the 3 quarters, the way it will pan out. So I keep telling my team that look at funnel very, very closely. Lot of our next line of inspiration, what kind of master campaign creative will come out of it, what kind of hub content we can do around that, what kind of media choices we will make, which platforms we want to play, how can we triangulate a sweet spot, which can convert in immediate terms for the remaining quarter. All those decisions will be taken, as we kind of move along with our partners on creative media, social media and influencer partners as well. See, the way I look at this category, there is a large sea of audience out there, right? And whether you talk about like number of PAN card holders, you talk about people having bank accounts and all of that, and there is a small pond from which we kind of, it's our catchment area. So, and on a regular basis, we get certain flow to this pond. And within this pond, we have our net, which allows us to take certain percentage out of it, right? Now, as a leader brand, our focus is that how can we get more people to come to that pond? That's our job number one. And then how can we increase our catchment from the percentage that we have had in past? I think that's where the twin task is. Some of the category expansion may look wasteful initially because not all of them will come to your catchment. It is selling both the category promise and brand promise. That could be difficult, but I believe that's where the challenge lies. For us to kind of take that leadership mantle seriously and take it forward, that's what it will require. What will be the specifics? I can't tell you at the moment because I don't know it myself, because this is what we will work, looking at the funnel, researching, working with our creative and media partner. But eventually we will definitely create an impact. To my mind, it's the next inflection point for the category. Like after COVID, people said it's a COVID phenomena, right. But the category has continued to kind of dominate and grow. We have continued to dominate and grow. Now, what is the next inflection point? Can we bring it ourselves?
Because induce that inflection point.
Because I mean, all the other macroeconomic factors are amazing. I mean, the curiosity for the category is there. People have disposable income. Their financial education has gone to the next level. Right. The information which is available now, it's like far more kind of moderated and more content as compared to what they were in past. So those kind of things should help the category.
It was interesting because you mentioned the category. Of course, one of your primary competitors, Zerodha, has a no advertising kind of policy. And I think it was Nitin Kamath who shared a really interesting post recently where he said it's every fourth ad on the IPL is a fintech brand. I mean, I'll come to you first before I go to PT. Your thoughts on that, especially coming from a brand that doesn't advertise. And I think he meant it as a sign of good times for the category, of course. And so, what's your take?
So my view is that there are each business has a particular blueprint to kind of grow. Some businesses have a model where they'll say that I will only drive penetration and upper funnel through product and discounting in a way. Like it also is the timing, as to when somebody came to disrupt the market. Like for example, when Jio came into the country, people expected that they are going to really outshout the Vodafones and the Ideas and the Airtels of the world. But if you look at it at a normalized level, the investments of Jio were not as high as what people expected it to be. And there was a very their entire focus was on disruption in the category, right? Zerodha is one of them who created that particular kind of shift for the category to follow. But that is done. I don't know if there is a copy paste available for all other players in the market to say that, okay, if Zerodha has not done it like that, can I also go and do it like that? It would be, I mean, there would be players who would want to do that, but I'm sure there is merit in advertising, and our analytics platform is actually saying that the investments are giving returns. As a matter of fact, we are learning from data to generate delta returns for our clients, and that is the point that we are making. And not only that, in the app economy, the temptation is to go after the lower funnel, because the lowest hanging fruit, and you will see immediate conversions and all of that. However, the work that we are talking about over here is actually walking the talk on through the funnel attribution, and it is telling us that how much of upper funnel building is driving conversions and business outcomes for our clients.
For sustained growth,
it is a sustainable growth.
Yes, which is critical, PT, because I mean, not just specifically talking about the zero advertising policy, but how long can you sustain a model like that, right?
Absolutely.
And Amin had a point there about, copying. I mean, it's not something you can copy paste, of course, and it's not. Do you think it's sustainable?
Absolutely. I mean, like we have 3 decades of our history behind us, and a sustainable, profitable business model is very essential. We have seen a lot of competition in past, and we will see a lot of competition in future also, and we are prepared for it because we are a data-centric and consumer-centric organization. I mean, somebody was mentioning a couple of weeks back about how a good advertising or good media platform can kill a bad product faster. The other corollary to that is that how can a good advertising and a good media platform can take a sustainable business model to the next level. So we believe we have a full control of our unit economics. We have not entered this platform with any FOMO. We have entered it keeping our eyes open in terms of assumptions being in place, and we have rest of the quarters, apart from the initial positive outcomes that we have got, to kind of really take this benefit of such an investment forward. And fundamentally, I want to kind of make a last statement on this, that for a sustainable, profitable business, there is no specific model available. All of us are in the market. The focus is that this is a noble profession for a simple reason that what fintech, wealth tech companies can deliver, and they can transform and change the lives of not just individual but the families, if they really know how to kind of interact with such platforms. And this is a job we all have to do, by the means that we know better. And I believe Angel One will continue to contribute with the leadership mindset.
Absolutely, well said on that point, especially with the impact fintech brands can have in terms of wealth generation. But PT, let me ask you, because we briefly sort of spoke about content marketing. For a lot of fintech players, a lot of financial BFSI clients and advertisers, of course, influencer marketing has become a critical piece, and we've seen this emergence of this class of influencers. And with that, of course, we've seen this heightened scrutiny. Government scrutiny, the SEBI guidelines, there's a real crackdown on finfluencing. So as a brand that of course has been around decades, and you're taking it to another level with the super app and everything, all your ambitions, what worries you currently when it comes to finfluencers? How has it impacted your strategy given everything that's happened over the past year or so? What are you thinking about? I mean, how heavily is Angel One invested in influencer marketing?
See, let me first say that our regulators have done a great job over the years. I think today whatever tailwind we are seeing in the category is because the guardrails are so tight and so good for the entire ecosystem to kind of jump to the next level. And we welcome such scrutiny and regulation in certain areas. Having said that, I think there is no better way to reach out to the nooks and corners of this country with such financial education in a style, in a language, in a manner, which audience can get engaged in. So that's a great job fin-influencers have done. But as they say that some bad fish can, kind of spoil the entire pond. I think that's what is happening. And we did a lot of work on this, talking to NISM, and I realized that there are very simple certificate-based courses which can allow fin-influencer not only just to educate themselves, but talk about with more authority in the topics which is of their interest. So as a entrenched player, we believe that content will play a huge role. This is not a category where the need is so well known that you can't live without. It is something that you need to educate yourself, see it in your context, and then engage with it. And that I believe, with the good content, with the good influencers, this can happen faster. Having said that, again, I believe a lot more is required to be done within the community, with the regulator, and with ecosystem players like us. And that's where we can have a win-win situation.
Thank you so much for your time, PT.
Right.
I mean, it was lovely chatting with you as always.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Same here,
Thank you.
Darshan.
Thank you
Thank you so much.
Thank you.